Welcome to this general knowledge, and this is also a current affair topic where it has been seen moon is rusting. How the moon is able to rust all those minerals present there. Like the most in the cases that we have observed right now, it is with the iron. How is it possible? Moon does not have an environment. So is it possible for rusting of the moon by itself, or some another factor is helping in those chemical process? So recently images sent by Chandrayaan 1 indicate that the possibility of iron rusting present there as a hematite, and it was seen that the reason behind it may be the earth's atmosphere, and it is just an explanation. It is not proved, but it is just an explanation given by them as a theory, the reason behind moon rusting. Let us moving ahead, we will see what are the reasons behind it, what are the issues in the news right now. So near the pole of the moon, it has been found that the presence of hematite is there. It is nothing but an ore of iron, and it is formed by the oxidation. For that, the formation of this hematite, oxygen should be present, but in the on the moon there is no oxygen. There is no environment for that oxygen formation. So does this formation of hematite prove that there is a chance of oxygen present on the moon? No. Why? The explanation, the theory that we have, that this formation of hematite, it is because of the oxygen present on the earth. How this earth is sending that oxygen to the moon, we will see. So it was observed from India's mission, that was in the 2008, that is what Chandrayaan 1. We get the images of the that is moon's pole, and we have seen that there is a formation of hematite, and for the formation of hematite we need oxygen, and this is a matter of research, and it has been working on, still the teams are working on, but the theory that we have currently is this one. So the theory is that the earth has an outer atmosphere. You will see that troposphere, stratosphere, exosphere, ionosphere, thermosphere and all, and from those atmospheric layer we will see that the most of the rays that comes, that are thrown back to the satellite also, and few bags come to the atmosphere, and few are also trapped in our atmosphere as due to the greenhouse effect too, and thus we are getting the issue of raising the temperature of the earth. So similarly, some rays that are thrown back to the space from that outer sphere, this can go through the thousands of kilometers, and at one point of time moon was very close to the earth. When the full moon day occurs, moon becomes too much close to the earth. So at that time it may happen, there is a chance that moon acquire oxygen trace, that is from that closer of the outer atmosphere. On that time it is a chance that moon acquired those oxygen from the earth, and thus we are seeing lunar rusting on the moon. So what are the ores of iron? The purest is your magnetite, then we will see hematite, limonite and siderite. So oxidation of iron can be prevented. How oxidation of iron be prevented? It is through hydrogen only. So earlier it was believed that the iron present on the moon will be protected from rusting because sun throws hydrogen. The sun rays, the solar winds that comes from the sun have a hydrogen in it, and this hydrogen will prevent iron from rusting. That was the earlier theory. But when we saw that there is a rusting present on the earth's lunar surface, that is the pole surface, this theory proved to be wrong, but there is a chance of rusting on the moon. Yes, sun is protecting the earth from rusting, due to its the hydrogen present in the solar wind, but it is unable to block the polar side iron present there, because when the full moon day occur, the moon is closer to the earth, and at that time 99% of the solar winds are not able to reach to that polar side of the moon, and ultimately we will see that earth's external atmosphere, that is oxygen, entered into the moon, that is the polar side, and ultimately we will see the rusting of the iron. That is the main theory given by the NASA also and by our agencies also. Okay, so it was assumed that earlier that hydrogen, which is sometimes generated by the solar winds, so it was assumed that hydrogen tried to prevent the rusting, but it did not happen due to the presence of magnetotail, that is the magnetic field line generated by the earth planet and covered by the moon's another object most of the time, and it prevents the solar wind from striking the moon, and thus this made the reason behind the rusting of the moon. Okay, so thus hydrogen to moon is getting prevented. When it is getting prevented? During the mainly in the full moon day. Even in the normal there is a chance of, due to the magnetotail, there is a chance of going of the oxygen from the earth to the moon. So that is just a recap of that we have seen in more formal way. So Chandrayaan 1 has sent images that shows the moon that there a chance of rusting along the poles, and a recent study published in Science Advances found an oxidized iron mineral called hematite at high latitudes on the moon, and the hematite can only be found where there is a iron and the oxygen too. So that oxygen is a chance as coming from the earth. So this lunar hematite is formed through oxidation of the iron on the moon's surface by the oxygen from the earth's upper atmosphere. And hematite is a heavy and relatively hard oxide mineral from earth and the Mars, and the mineral is formed of iron oxide or rust produced when iron is exposed to the oxygen and water. So here this is also become a chance of research, and more research is going on this on the base of this how this hematite is formed, how this rusting happened. So as per NASA, the solar particles coming of the sun, that is known as solar wind, bombards moon and earth and resulting in more hydrogen, as we explained in earlier, and this will, it was accepted that hydrogen will prevent the rusting of iron in the moon, but it did not happen. So as the moon is without an atmosphere to protect itself, the hydrogen should make it difficult for rust to form on the moon, but earth's magnetic field is capable of blocking about around 99% of the solar wind aimed at the moon when it is on the full moon day. On the full moon day, around this magneto field block almost 99% of the solar wind, and ultimately our that earth's environment oxygen goes to the earth environment. So that phase which provides windows of opportunity to rust to form, and while the moon lacks an atmosphere, it is in fact home to trace an amounts of oxygen from the earth's atmosphere and carried by the earth's trailing magnetotail. So even if you will get oxygen, and you will see that water is also necessary in some cases. So hydrogen is on the non full moon day, you will get hydrogen from the solar wind. So hydrogen is also there, oxygen is also provided by there, so there is a chance of formation of H2O. H2O2 will form, but there is a H2O will also form, but there is a chance of the formation of H2O. But these are just a theory, the research is going on. But the current explanation for the rusting present on the moon surface is that it is getting oxygen from the earth through the earth's magneto field, because it becomes strong, too much strong on the full moon day, and normal day also it is also working. The magneto field is capable to send the oxygen from the earth to the moon, and on the full moon day around almost 99% of the solar wind, that is the hydrogen, it blocks around 99% of the hydrogen from the solar wind, and oxygen is sent to the earth, and ultimately we will see the formation of hematite on the earth's surface as a rusting. So this was all in this topic. I hope you have liked this video. Please subscribe. Your subscription is a form of payment for me. If you have any on demand video lecture if you want, and if you have any suggestions, please feel free to ping on my Twitter handle. Thank you.